Did you know that creating buildings that are more sustainable, energy efficient, and accessible can positively impact operational costs, the environment, and your health and comfort? Here's how it works and some considerations for your next project.
My name is Lois Arena. I'm the Director of Passive House Services at Stephen Winter Associates, and our firm is basically a consulting firm, and we deal with everything in buildings having to do with making them better and more sustainable. Everything from accessibility consulting to green building standards to really high-performing low-energy buildings. Stephen Winter works on all types of buildings, everything from low-rise residential to high-rise multifamily and commercial buildings. We work for builders, developers, universities, and government officials. And we take a really holistic approach. If we're involved at the beginning, we can help really hone in on the best cost-effective exercises for the project, and then we can follow it through all the way through construction and commissioning.
They create what they like to call high-performance buildings.
A high-performance building is one that performs well for both its current occupants as well as future occupants. It doesn't necessarily mean complex or expensive systems. It's just a low-carbon building that doesn't emit to the environment. It is a safe and healthy building for its occupants, and it's a future-proofed building that is resilient to future climate catastrophes. 70% of greenhouse gas emissions in New York City are due to buildings, so there's obviously an urgent need to reduce the emissions from that sector, and New York City is not unique to that. A lot of cities are analyzing this and coming out with building emissions caps for their buildings. Electrification, switching from fossil fuels to do things like heat and create cooking appliances in your buildings, as well as tapping into a clean grid to power your buildings. Currently, we have a lot of pilot case studies that are around electrifying domestic hot water usage. Domestic hot water usage is traditionally provided through fossil fuels, particularly in the New York City area. So we're trying to figure out a way to implement energy efficient heat pumps in buildings that produce domestic hot water.
Accessibility is also a critical component.
I started in the construction industry at 15 years old, and I was a special education teacher at 20. And I worked in a high school, and I worked with children that had developmental disabilities. So I worked in this very giant school and always saw these kids kind of moving through the spaces with that lens of construction. And I always thought, this building can be better, that can better serve them. I decided to go back to school to be an architect and, kind of fell into this field, which is, accessibility consulting, where I can kind of blend all these things together. Now I look at buildings and I always think back to these kids who are in wheelchairs or in walkers, and I say, these kids grew up and they have to live somewhere. And I always make sure that everything will work with them in my mind. I always keep them in my mind and make sure everything will work for them. So that's where I'm coming from.
We've been around for over 50 years and have been evolving with programs and helping them evolve as we go. We've been involved with setting standards for code. We've been involved with helping incentive programs grow. We've been helping LEED and other sustainability programs evolve as well.
That's right. 2022 will mark the company's 50th year in business, making them one of the longest-standing consulting firms in the industry. No wonder they're considered a leader in sustainability, energy efficiency, and accessibility for buildings. They helped shape the industry.
So if you are a homeowner looking for a building or an apartment, what we recommend to keep an eye out for is a LEED plaque or a well-certified building, things that have a basis for energy efficiency and a healthy home and a safe home for you.
For more information about Stephen Winter Associates, visit swinter.com. And of course, visit us at designingspaces.tv.